Hello, everybody from the world of Christians, believers, and unbelievers. Today, Christians all over the world are reminded of the day that Jesus went to the cross, which is a very wonderful day, and it is the reason why we have the hope of eternal life and also the hope of returning back home to the Father. And I'm also excited about this day. But I have a question for you today. How many of you out there really understand the resurrection? Everything that Christians are supposed to be excited about for Easter, for Good Friday, for the cross, for the resurrection, everything, the meaning of that whole event did not happen a day after the cross, or 2 days after the cross, or 3 days after the cross. Jesus only appeared to the disciples 3 days after the cross because they did not see the message on the cross. They missed it. They didn't get a message. Everything happened right there on the cross. Not a day after, not 2 days after, not 3 days after. Everything happened right there on the cross. But they were so blind, they did not get the message. The whole time Jesus was here, he explained to them who he was and everything, and they still didn't get it. They didn't know who he was, and so they didn't see the message on the cross. But the message was right there in front of them. Jesus is your mother, your spiritual mother. Just like you have a heavenly father, a spiritual father. The same way, all human beings have spirits living in them. And that is why we are living souls. The spirit is what that matters, not the flesh. So, you waiting for a resurrection 3 days later to see Jesus come out of a grave is not really the message that Jesus brought to mankind. The message of the resurrection, the excitement and everything was right there on the cross when Jesus cried, Eli, Eli, whatever sabachthani. Alright? When he said that, something happened. After that, they said he took his last breath and died. That was the resurrection, but you guys missed it. You see, when the soldiers went to break this guy's leg, right? Jesus was already gone. The spirit that lives in Jesus was taken out by the Father, was rescued. He did not watch his son die. His son did not die. His son came down to be a sacrifice for us, to take our place. No. What God did is he took Jesus and put Jesus back into glory where he deserved. But he put him back on his throne. Son, I am not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything. But I'm also going to give you what you asked for. If you read John 17, Jesus had asked God to give him back the glory that he had before with him, before the world, before the beginning of the world. What was Jesus trying to say? Jesus had lost his children. A woman's glory is in her children. So when Jesus was praying that prayer and asking back for his glory, he was not asking for a shiny light or anything. He was asking back for the children that he had lost. Okay? God had already, Isaiah had already prophesied this in Isaiah 51:1. No, sorry, I don't remember the verse. But he had already prophesied in Isaiah. And later on, I'll do a better teaching and we'll have all the verses for you to see. And God promises that Jesus is going to wear, he's going to wear us again like ornaments. You know, he's going to get back his glory. He's going to get back his children. And he's going to wear them like ornaments. And so, God had already prophesied that he was going to do this. Jesus, all the time that he was here on earth, was asking God, can we forget about this cross issue and just rescue these children? I don't like to see them in this situation that they are in. Sheep scattered all over the place, lost. Demons have filled some of them, and they are just in chaos down here on earth. The whole time, Israel had God's word in the Old Testament, and they didn't even understand even one bit of it. Nothing, not even the Messiah's coming, they didn't understand. They made up whatever they thought will be the coming of the Messiah, how it was going to take place. But that concept of the 3-day resurrection and everything was all wrong. They didn't get that right. And so, when Jesus came, he had to explain to them the Old Testament for them to understand. Okay? So, what we have on the cross, the early death of Jesus, when they went to when they went to the governor to go ask for the tomb for Jesus to sleep in, the governor he was like, what? He's dead already? How is that? Because you know why? Because God had forcibly taken his spirit out of Jesus, the body, and did not allow that body to suffer or for that body to face judgment. So God did not judge Jesus, but he also allowed him to get his children back. Whatever he wanted, he could have it. See, the body, when Mary and Joseph gave birth to that body, they gave birth to a lamb. Just like in the story of Abraham and Isaac, when they went to make the sacrifice, right? When Isaac was about to be killed, God told Abraham, don't lay your hand on him, leave him alone. And took Isaac off the altar and put a lamb. You see, the body that Mary and Joseph gave birth to was the lamb. It's two different things. You have the body and then you have the spirit that lives in the body. The spirit that lives in the body is the one that said was coming to die in your place, not the body. The spirit said he was going to die in your place. But God did not give judgment to that spirit. He took him back, put him back on the right hand side of God. He said, all right, now I am convinced that you will die for those children. You don't have to do anything else to prove to me. It's enough. You get to sit, you get to keep your throne, and I am going to allow these children to be sanctified. God is the one that sanctifies, and he can choose to sanctify with or without blood. He doesn't need blood, He did that only because he doesn't want you to get easy access back to the Father. He doesn't want you to think that it is so easy for you to rebel against him and, within seconds gain back heaven for yourself. No, you have to fight for it. And that is what he did with the earth, and that is why he went to all lengths to the end to not, maybe he died. I don't think he doubted Jesus will do it, but he went to the lambs probably to prove to Satan that Jesus will indeed do that. Just like in the story in 2 Kings where the two prostitutes were fighting for the children. They were saying they're going to cut the baby in half, and one said yes, do it. The other said no, don't do it. And what did God say? He said, now I know whose child this is. Give it to the rightful. So this is what God did, just to prove to us or give us a message. I don't think he really doubted Jesus would go all the way and will really offer his life. And I'm pretty sure Jesus also knew that God will not touch him. And so that is why he kept praying 40 days, 40 nights, like, quit tripping, my love. God, talking to God, stop tripping. It's enough. I don't really have to go through all this. Let's just rescue these children. We the owners of everything. We the creators. We can do whatever we want. Let's end it right here. And he prayed and prayed, tried to convince God to do this, but God will not listen because God is one of those conservatives, He's a conservative. He's a man of principle, tough guy. He's going to go all the way to the end. So he did not listen and he said, no, he's going to go to the cross. And Jesus said, well, who's in control? You in control. You the boss. No problem. If you say we should go to the cross, I'll go to the cross. But when I go to the cross, you better watch me all the way to the end and make me die. Watch me. And so he goes to the cross. He's about to die. God has turned his face. He said, I told you not to turn your head. You said you will watch me die. Now watch me. God couldn't watch him. He turned his face. That is the love between those two, God and Jesus. It's so beautiful. And he said, Eli, don't turn away. Look, you say you want to see me die. Look. And that very moment, God ordered angels to go and take Jesus from that cross right away and give Jesus what he wants. And that is the message of the cross. And so Jesus died so early. And that was the resurrection right there. You didn't see it. None of you saw it. That was the resurrection. Now, finish that. How many of you read the Bible or read that resurrection story and forget about Satan? Remember, Jesus had already said, hey, the guy is coming, Satan, he's been released, he's coming now, and now he's going to kill me. So where do you think Satan was when all this thing was going on? Brothers and sisters, let me tell you what, the devil was alive when Jesus was hanging there on the cross. The devil was aware that 3 days later, these disciples are going to start screaming, hey, resurrection, hey, resurrection. They already knew this. Look, the memo for a Messiah had been in Israel ever since the prophets prophesied. And a lot of prophets were showing up. I'm a prophet. I'm Jesus. I'm the Messiah. And they all lied. If you read Acts 5:35, you see an example over there. A lot of people have showed up in Israel claiming to be somebody, and they were not. So those that killed Jesus, don't think they are stupid. They're not stupid though. Did you know they burned Jesus? They burned Jesus, brother. They burned Jesus. Open your eyes, Christians. Open your eyes. You people have been sleeping for too long. They burned Jesus. But do you know what? My Jesus is burnt. It's yours. Yours is not burnt. You're pathetic. You know why? Because Leviticus chapter 4 tells you the sin offering has to be burnt in full. So you see, these evil people, they went and burnt Jesus. So when the disciples, everybody left, and they put the body in the tomb and they put a stone over there. Don't think they are stupid. They already knew that these Israelites, tomorrow, they're going to come and say that Jesus has arose. So in order for that not to happen, go bring the body. Let's burn this body and let's feel it that this body is burnt to ashes, so that nobody can come and claim. When they claim anything, then we will know that the people are indeed stupid. So exactly what they did is they took the body and they burned the body. Brother, they burned the body. Let me tell you, they burned Jesus. So they burned Jesus into ashes. But you know what? When you read Genesis 50:50, what does it tell you? See, they did it for evil, but God had purposed it. Satan was doing something fast, rush. He didn't know he was fulfilling prophecy. That in Leviticus it was said that this is how the lamb is supposed to die, and for the forgiveness of sins, it has to be burnt into a heap of ash. And they burned the body just so that they could satisfy their flesh and know that yes, this Jesus is not indeed Jesus. Because if he was indeed Jesus, he would have resurrected already. But we have been able to burn him, so he's not Jesus. And so they convinced themselves into this belief of the Messiah, and they're going to be lost forever. Because they are convinced that Jesus is not Jesus because they burned him. But they don't know that they were made to burn him so that you and I could get that forgiveness of sin. The body they burnt was not Jesus. Jesus was already gone on rescued already. The body, that was the lamb. Just like in Abraham's story, they found a lamb over there and they went to kill the lamb, and Isaac lived. That is what happened. Jesus lived. But the lamb that Joseph and Mary gave birth to is the one that went on to the fire for our forgiveness of sin. That is the beauty. in the resurrection story. I don't know what they taught you. These white people, they don't know nothing. No, they don't know nothing. You see, look, this Bible that we are reading, we are the chiefs of the Bible. Oh. We the ones that know this thing. We are spiritual people. We have this connection inside, within. You know, and brother, if you say you have faith, faith is things unseen. But you believe in everything that is seen in the Bible. The things that are written in the Bible is what you believe in. So you don't have faith like I do. Because what I'm telling you is not written in the Bible, but I know this is what happened. Because I have faith. Do you have faith? This Easter, ask yourself a question. Do you have faith? If you have faith, exercise it. Because Jesus, I tell you, Satan was not sleeping. They burned him. They know they were going to get up in 3 days and say, hey, you know, Jesus has risen. And so they burnt him. And that is why they persecuted them. Because they were too stupid. They said these people are too stupid. The man is dead. We burnt him. And they are still screaming, resurrection, resurrection. You know? But that is Jesus' way of making fun of Satan. You know? So he appeared to the disciples. Appeared to them, hey, I am alive. Don't be so sad. You know? Because all these people were sad. You know, it had been centuries, man. They had never seen anything good in Israel. And all of a sudden they thought that they had some hope in Israel. And all of a sudden the hope was gone. And Jesus had pity on them. They missed the message on the cross. But he said, you know what? I will appear to them just to show them that hope is not lost. What they saw was real. What they have is indeed the salvation that was promised by the prophets. And so he appeared to them so that they would just be so happy and be convinced. But that was not the message that God was showing to us. The message God showed to us was a spiritual one. And none of you seen it. You missed it. Because it was a spiritual thing. The spirit of Jesus left the body so quick. Nobody believed. They're like, how did he die so fast? Even the thieves were still hanging over there. Even the thieves, they were still hanging on the cross. And Jesus was gone. The strongest of them all, he's gone already. What happened? That was the resurrection. That was when God made the decision to forgive mankind if we will believe in Jesus. If we will believe in Jesus, he is going to forgive you. That is when God made that decision. Right there on the cross. It wasn't 3 days after, my brother. You see, Jesus does not have to die and then resurrect to prove that he can overcome death. Boy, Jesus himself was the one that told Lazarus, come forth. Lazarus, come forth, and Lazarus woke up from the dead. You know? So what kind of nonsense is that? That he has to die so that he can be chief over all the deaf. And so, come on, man. That is not the message of the resurrection. God, Jesus didn't have to die for this to get down. Okay. Jesus didn't have to die on the and be put in a grave before you know, we can get a message of resurrection. So open your eyes, people. Get spiritual. Get spiritual. Because the message is a spiritual message, and it happened on the cross. Not 3 days. Not 3 days. Not 3 days after. You know, it's about time, man. You people leave those white people and their philosophies that they learned from the Jews. You know, all those theories they learned from the Jews and the Catholics and all those people, man. You know, they're not good people, man. I mean, I want to take that back, because I know some good people, you know, white and all that. But you see, they've learned something wrong and they want to push it